Welcome to B2B Bites, the BigCommerce B2B podcast, where we deep dive into the world of manufacturing, distribution, and wholesale. Each episode, we bring you conversations with industry leaders and pioneers who are shaping the future of B2B e-commerce. Today, I am thrilled to welcome Clive Ormerod, CEO of AS Color, a leading manufacturer of blank apparel. Welcome to the show, Clive.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's awesome to be here with you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Maybe we'll kick off just by explaining to the audience a little bit kind of about yourself, about your journey and how you arrived in the land of B2B e-commerce.
Yeah, I've been at AS Color now for 12 months, so I'm relatively new. I'm still learning. I still don't know much about the category or the industry yet, but this is my fifth industry that I've now worked in. So started out in retail, moved into sporting goods, worked for Nike for a long time, worked in telco, digital services, worked in digital fitness, and then have joined AS Color, and we're a supplier of premium blanks around the world. So been here 12 months now, wanted to work for a New Zealand business that has its spiritual home in New Zealand, was founded in New Zealand, but has the potential to change customers' lives all over the world. And I'm loving my time here. So it's an awesome team, and we've got the potential to really change the industry, which I'm most excited about.
I love that. And we're going to get into some of that change and really the values that are driving AS Color. Maybe for the audience, just give an idea of what AS Color looks like today. How big are you? Where do you operate? Kind of where are your hubs and bases today?
Yeah, sure. Well, we're a 20-year-old business. So we were founded in New Zealand in 2005. So it's actually our 20th year anniversary, which we're celebrating, which is pretty awesome. And we have 6 distribution centers in 5 markets. So New Zealand is where we were founded 20 years ago. We've been operating out of Australia now for about 16 years. We have been in the US. So we have a warehouse on the West Coast and one on the East Coast. We've been in the US for 10 years. We've been in the UK for, call it 7. And then we just opened our first European distribution center to service mainland Europe in November last year, and that's based in Amsterdam. So we're a business that has always done things different to the rest of the category. We don't follow many of the same rules that the category has done before us, and we believe there's just a better way of doing a lot of the things that we have the potential to do. We ultimately want to create canvases for self-expression for our customers. So we see ourselves as a supplier of premium blank canvases that others can decorate and print on. And that's really how we make the biggest impact we can in the B2B space. And then we also have a direct-to-consumer arm. We have 26 retail stores and a fast-growing direct-to-consumer business as well. So there's always that awesome tension between the two and making sure that we show up well across both audiences. And it's a great challenge that we're looking to try and perfect every day.
I love that. There's so much to unpack there. You've got both B2B and D2C that have competing needs and competing challenges. But maybe before we get into some of that, those who are watching on the video will see an incredible background behind you of a warehouse that is moving, it seems, by itself without much human interaction. Maybe you can just explain to us where you are and a little bit about the warehouse that's behind you, because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's a real background. If you're listening to this, I'd encourage you to watch it. The background behind me is our Auckland, New Zealand distribution center. So over my right-hand shoulder, so on your left side, looking at the screen, is what's called our automation. It's a automated picking and packing robot. It's automation that we put in a few years ago now to help drive the efficiency of our business and to ultimately help get product to customers faster with less errors. And if we can do that, we're solving our customers' needs and we're helping their businesses be more successful. And then over my left-hand shoulder is the amount of product that we hold. You know, in B2B, we've got to be able to fulfill the order when a customer has an order themselves. And if we don't have the product in stock, we miss that order. We let people down. So holding the right product to deliver to customers at the right time, fast, error-free, is ultimately what we've been trying to perfect.
I love that. We could see the kind of picking going on right behind you, which is
it's
really
automated, Lance. So as an order comes into our e-com platform, it goes through BigCom, drops into our warehouse management system, and then automatically gets picked. Someone will check it, and then it's ready for dispatch. So we could have this picked kind of placing the order, we could have it picked and dispatched within 30 minutes easily, even a large order, meaning that customers, if you're close proximity to our distribution center, you'll have it easily within the same day. And if it's slightly further, it'll be overnight, which really means that we can get good throughput in the business, and we can also run a really efficient system.
That's amazing. And you kind of started by talking about the differentiators of AS Color. This is clearly one of them. You want to be able to service your customer with the product as fast and efficiently as possible. What are the other sort of differentiators? How do you kind of differentiate yourselves from the blank apparel providers out there?
Yeah, I mean, I go at a high level. We just think we can solve customer problems better. We've got some core values of the business, which is details matter. We're really focused on the detail. We believe it's the finer details that can make all the difference. Quality is key, is our second. Building things to last. So it's about making sure that we can build products that are here for the longer term. And then ultimately reducing waste is our fourth value. And, there's a lot of talk often about sustainability in this category. It's fair to say that the industry that we work in is not good on the environment, and we've been committed since 2005 to doing all we can to drive more sustainable practices and to drive better sustainable outcomes. The best thing anyone in the industry could do to help drive more sustainable outcomes is to produce product that lasts, to move away from fast fashion, to encourage product to not end up in landfills, and to make sure that it can then be recycled. We offer recycling across all of our stores. We've removed plastic, almost 99% plastic free from our supply chain. We've removed all plastic swing tags. We've really tried to build products that are as good on the environment as possible. And we can go into that a little bit more, but that's a massive part of who we are and the impact we would like to leave on the category.
Yeah, that's such a great mission. And at BigCommerce, we actually have a lot of AS Color branded products, and actually we're creating even more now. I've got an AS Color backpack, I've got sweatshirts, t-shirts, and it's fantastic product. I will say I think it's a lot higher quality than a lot of the other products that you get out there on the market in that kind of blank apparel space. So I really think you're leading the pack there. Maybe to touch a little bit on e-commerce, and your D2C versus B2B kind of play. You've got both angles, and I know you've got stores as well as kind of your e-commerce play. How do you juggle these two different kind of beasts? They've got different requirements from a logistic perspective, from a customer perspective.
Yeah.
How do you manage that?
I think we see it as a great opportunity. And quite often you can talk to people where they look at it as, well, you're compromising somewhere. You're either compromising B2B or you're compromising D2C. Personally, I think we can do both well. And if we can create a customer experience that is seamless, regardless if you're a B2B customer where you have different needs to a D2C customer, and we can serve up a website with a design system that allows you to get to your outcome fast, then I think you can perfect it. And we are constantly trying to focus on those finer details on our platform. So if you're a B2B customer, which majority of our business is, you'll go on our website and there will be a user journey that is beautifully built for you. And if you're a D2C customer, we believe you can go onto our website and there is a D2C journey that is beautifully built for you. And if you're logged in as a trade customer, or you're a D2C guest or a direct to consumer profile within our system, you're going to be served two very different customer journeys. And the tools that we give you to get your product and to check out fast are quite different across those two user groups. And we've perfected that over the years. We've actually redesigned our entire website over the last 12 months, from homepage through to category pages, product description pages, the cart and the checkout. And at each one of those stages, whether you are B2B or D2C, you will have a different experience.
That's fantastic. How did you, having just gone through it, how did you go about defining what that experience should look like? Did you involve customers in building that journey? How did you go about it? Because I know this is something that manufacturers, distributors I speak to really struggle with.
Yeah, we just work closely with customers. And what we do is we test in New Zealand first. It's one of our smaller markets geographically in size, but it also is where we started. And we've got customers that we can test real time with. We perfect it here and then we roll it out across other markets. So it's definitely our test bed to make sure we get new innovation right. And then we listen and learn. Like we have a real time listen and learn loop that allows us to get feedback from our customer service team that are talking to thousands of customers every single day, and to be able to feed that back to the e-com team to make changes within minutes once issues are picked up. So we're constantly listening and learning. It's a 24/7 channel, and we'll make lots of tweaks most weeks based on customer feedback or bugs that might be found or things that might go wrong. Because as you know, things go wrong on a regular basis, but it's your response to those that I think is quite often how you're measured. So we're trying to shorten that feedback loop.
I'd love to double click on how did you create that feedback loop, and how do you put the guardrails in place to make sure that you're not, perfecting for use cases that may be immaterial, to the majority of customers?
It's very simple. We just run a Slack channel that all customer service have access to, and anyone in the business has access to, and anyone is encouraged to put feedback into it, regardless of what they see. We get feedback from our retail stores on a daily basis, our customer support teams on a daily basis, our sales reps that are out on the road, and we act on it. I mean, obviously we'll talk about, as you say, the use case that is right on the fringe, but where we think there's value in making a change, we'll make a change, and we'll do it as fast as we can.
I love that. I don't see, many companies that have that feedback loop that's working as well as you do, and can, initiate change that quickly, feedback in, and maybe we can even get it in a week. That's incredible. You mentioned the sales team there. I'm curious how e-commerce plays with the sales team. How, often we hear about there's a bit of friction between kind of e-commerce efficiencies and sales teams, and how do we get them to buy in? But I don't think you have that problem. So maybe you could just share with our audience how you've approached that and how you've really cracked that nut.
Yeah, I mean, our sales teammates around the world that are out in market talking to customers every day see the website as their best sales tool. And having a website that is beautifully built and designed to help customers get to their outcome fast, which is basically placing an order and getting it delivered in full with no errors, is ultimately what our e-com platforms are there to do. And then our sales teammates can sell with confidence, because obviously we've got to have the product in stock, as you can see over my left shoulder, but then we've got to be able to fulfill it and get it to you as fast as we can. And if that system works well from e-com all the way through to the sales conversation with the customer, then really they're just an extension of each other. So we add things into our e-com platforms all the time that helps make our sales teammates' lives easier. For example, just a few weeks ago, we added in future delivery dates. So you can go onto our website, you can click on a SKU, you can look at the bulk order grid, which gives you visibility of stock on hand right now. And then bottom right hand corner of a cell, you can click on that and it'll show you our next 3 to 4 delivery dates, quantities that are coming in, and also when they are to land. It just helps make the teams on the road's lives easier, because they've got information at hand that our customers can self-serve with, and just allows our sales teams to have more value-adding discussions.
Yeah, that kind of visibility and that clarity is great for the customer but also great for that sales team. Is your point, when they're in a store making a sale, they can say exactly when that purchase is going to happen, and that future delivery date. That's great too. I don't need them today, but I want to place that order now, and I need them in 2 months. I've got this big event coming up. I need to print lots of t-shirts.
Yeah, and also confidence in our ongoing supply of product. In B2B, that's the number one, is confidence that you've got the stock today, that you can deliver it to me fast tomorrow, and then confidence that when I come back in a few months' time, I can order the same piece again, and I can have consistency. And that's a big part of how we operate, whether that be in our sustainability approach or through to how we communicate with customers. We try and operate with transparency and traceability across everything that we do.
Right now, we're sort of operating in a strange time. This is April 15th, 2025. There's a lot going on in the supply chain with tariffs occurring. How do you approach that uncertainty when you're trying to deliver customers and give customers the visibility that they want? This is what the product will cost. This is when you can get it. How do you approach that uncertainty?
Yeah, it's nuts right now. It's crazy times we operate in, but you know what? In crazy times or in difficult moments, there's always opportunity. And across my life, there have always been moments where you are expected to step up and stand out. And I think we as a business can use this moment to do exactly that. We were able to do that through COVID in the thought leadership we were able to bring, and I believe we'll be able to do it again. So we saw this moment coming. You know, you haven't necessarily needed to live under a rock to be able to miss it, but like we've seen this moment come, and we stocked up on our key supply chain items over the last 4 months. We have good supply of product, specifically in the US, that will allow customers to order from us and continue to work with us for the near to medium term with confidence. And that also means that we can give customers confidence around pricing. Obviously, the medium to longer term is slightly more unknown, but the whole industry is in the same boat. So customers are understanding. The best thing you can do right now as a supplier, the best thing we can do right now as a partner, is to communicate what we know with confidence and clarity. And we will continue to do that. And then we will keep that communication channel open. So as we get more information that we know will impact customers, we'll be making sure they are the first to know. And I think that's all people can ask and expect of you.
Keep that clarity, keep that openness and transparency as best you can through that, through the turbulence. And actually, that's what will keep customers, happy, and it will be a differentiator for you guys. That really resonates.
Yeah, it's always how we've operated. Like as I said at the start, we do a lot of things different to the rest of the industry. We don't use distributors. We go direct. We build those relationships, which means we can have more direct customer conversations. We can close those feedback loops. We can know their businesses. We can help solve their problems better. We can react faster. You put all of that into how we go to market, and I just think we can do a better job. And moments when the pressure comes on, such as the moment right now where there's a lot of uncertainty, is we can actually react faster to things and deliver outcomes that customers should be happy with.
You mentioned something there about your strategy, which is you don't go through distributors, you go direct. You've had an incredible story of international growth as a business, right? Expanding into new regions. That's much harder when you go direct. So it'd be great to maybe talk through why that strategy and kind of how you've made that work over the past couple of years, and how you've really driven what I think is quite exceptional growth internationally.
Yeah, thank you, Lance. Historically, the industry has always run through distributors. There's a few big distributors around the world that hold hundreds of brands, and they offer those to customers, and we just don't think that's a great model. So we look to go direct. And the reason we would like to go direct is we'd like to know your business better. Simple as that. We understand your business better. We understand your pain points. We know what problems you're trying to solve, and we can be a partner in trying to solution those for you. So we do a lot of things different. We don't use distributors. We go direct. We offer flat pricing. We don't expect minimums. We just have a different way about us. We have a mindset that I believe is more on the offense, and we want to try and make the industry and the category better. So that's been our focus for 20 years, and that'll be our focus for the next 20. And this moment in time right now is just a speed bump. We'll get through it. But if we can bring thought leadership to the industry, then a rising tide lifts all boats. And that's what we want to try and be a part of.
Just a tiny double click into that. As you approach a new region, how do you go about launching, right? There feels like there's a little bit of a chicken and egg. Do we get the products there first? Do we get a sales team first? How do we build those relationships? I'm curious if what you're able to kind of share around that sort of strategy.
It's a repeatable model. Ultimately, you want to make sure that you can build confidence in customers fast. And in our B2B world, confidence in customers comes from having the product that they want when they need it. So if we go into a new market, we need the product. We've got to have it there. We'll build relationships. We'll be very clear on when we will launch, and then we'll have enough product to fulfill their needs, and we'll deliver it to them as fast as we can. So as I said earlier, we've just opened in Europe, mainland Europe. We have a distribution center that we opened in Netherlands in November. Sam is our head of Europe. He's based over there. He came from New Zealand. He's moved up there with his family. He knows our business inside and out. He knows how to tell the story about what we had to do. And then he has got millions of items of stock at his disposal today to be able to ship to customers, and we'll get it to them as fast as we can. And if we can keep fulfilling that need, then we hold the trust that customers have put into us, and we can scale. Now, it's all about repeatability. If we can do that and we can do it well and we don't let customers down, or when we do, we can recover as fast as we can, then I think we can continue to build strong relationships and grow this business. And that's all we're focused on.
It's the relationships, customer experience that's setting you apart. You can't do that without, I should say, the right kind of tools. How do you approach thinking about technology and kind of digital maturity, and maybe giving us the listeners a bit of an understanding of what the tool suite that you're using, how they work together to make sure that you're continuing to deliver that experience?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, we obviously use BigCommerce across all of our regions, and we use tools in every market to solve customer problems fast, whether that be our automation in our warehouses, that's over my right shoulder, whether that be how we use HubSpot as our CRM to be able to communicate at scale with customers and to be able to manage pipeline all the way through to closing the sale, or our ERP system, which we're in the process of looking to renew right now. We're constantly looking at how technology can help solve problems. And if we keep it as simple as that, we can use technology to solve real life problems, then I think we're going to be focused on the right stuff. Like, I'm a firm believer that if you stop innovating, you will die. Whether that be in your technology, whether that be in your product. You've got to start with a brilliant product first and foremost. And I believe our product is, like you said, you've experienced it yourself. And then I think you can use your tools or your technology platforms as ways to solve customer problems fast. And that's the lens that our founder, Larry, has always brought to this business. He loves technology. He loves the way that it can help build more efficient and effective businesses. And if it can solve a customer problem, we will consider it.
With customer kind of at the core and at the forefront, actually, not just at the core, but at the forefront of the decision making. As you choose kind of technology providers, you just said you're going through an ERP migration. I can hear our audience wince.
Yeah, it's like open heart surgery, isn't it? I've been through one before, and it's not to be entered into lightly.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe just how do you evaluate the technologies that you look at? How do you make those decisions? How do you set that criteria? What's most important to you as you make those decisions? You know, whether that's e-com, ERP, HubSpot as a CRM. And do you continually evaluate and assess?
Yeah, I mean, we always try and work with the best. Like, we are looking to invest or partner with suppliers, ultimately partners. We want to move it away from being transactional. We'd like to move it into value-adding partnerships, but we want to work with technology providers that are the best in their field. So we will work with the experts, people that have a track record of delivering a proven solution over time. Quite often, we also need to work with suppliers that can handle the complexity of our business. You know, we need to be able to work with customers that can help SKU by size, by color. It might seem simple, but it gets pretty complex when you have extra small all the way through to 5XL across 76 different colors and one SKU. So sometimes there's limitations there, but at the core of it, we will try and boil down the decision to what is safe to try. And if it's safe to try, how do you roll it out and test it in a controlled fashion, such as within New Zealand or with some customers within New Zealand? And then once you've tested that, how do you roll it out broader across other markets? And if you can do it in a systemized way like that, generally speaking, you can minimize your risk. I think sometimes in the technology space, I've experienced it can become complex too fast. I think AS Color has always done a really good job of trying to simplify the complex and to remove complexity wherever we can. And if we can continue to do that, then hopefully we get more right than we get wrong, which is what we've really tried to pride ourselves on.
Yeah, I think I kind of love that term, simplify the complex. Like B2B, it's naturally complex. It doesn't need to be complicated. And often I think we find that it becomes complicated when you pull and try to pull too many niche use cases potentially that customers are asking for into the systems that you've got. That's not what you're solving for. You want to make it as simple and easy, as straightforward as possible.
Yeah, I think just to pick up on that point, like I've got a strong view that you always have a lot on your plate. Everyone is always busy. You always get told how much there is going on. But if you can distinguish between the urgent versus the important should be lined up with your strategy. It's the big levers you can pull to make a difference. The urgent is quite often just noise and drama. And if you can let the urgent pass over your shoulder and focus on the important, then more often than not, your focus will be on the right things.
Yeah, and how that aligns to your core business.
For sure.
Goals, initiatives.
Yeah,
exactly. Keep that in mind. Set your OKRs and stick to them, and don't let the noise and the buzz distract you. I mean, that's applicable to,
everything
B2B
in life.
Everything
in life.
Yeah.
I mean, as I said earlier, I've worked in a few different industries and categories now. And I think every business I've ever gone into, I've always been told it's a complex business. So that is the story that people tell themselves. When you perfect it is when you're able to make the complex simple, or try and boil it down to the few key ingredients that really move the dial. And I think anyone that can do that in their business really understands their business, the customer problems you're trying to solve, and where you should focus will be the ones that would probably more often win than not.
Yeah, exactly. Find what those key problems are and solve them. So I'm kind of curious, as you've gone through this expansion as a business, as you've kind of approached some of the turbulence that we've got kind of in the market today, you've approached automation of warehouses. What are some of the kind of the learnings from those experiences, AS Color or from your previous experience, that you wish you knew when you were going through them, but look back now and think, oh, that was, we didn't approach that the right way, but now I know exactly how I would do that. I'm curious of whether that's through international expansion or maybe with supply chain in the warehouses.
Yeah, I think focus on the detail would probably be my biggest learning. The details really matter, and sometimes they're just one or two things that really make the biggest impact. You can see the lights have just gone out there. We have automation across our business, and if this room doesn't get used or there's not movement in here for 30 minutes and it goes out, we've got batteries on the roof to power the system. So you can see like our real focus on sustainability and trying to make sure we're reducing our carbon footprint as much as possible. Back to your question though, I think focus on the detail and build things that are built to last. Real quality will always live out. I think in a world where there's so much quantity, there is more of a need to focus on quality than ever before. And I think in all the industries that I've worked in, that's been something that has been a real success or a pillar of our success. So I'd focus on that. I'd encourage people to always stay on the offense, stay on the front foot. Momentum is critical. And when you've got momentum, hold on to it with both hands. And if you're driving change or looking to scale around the world, it's the same formula as do and build quality systems and quality products that customers want, and then try and solve their problems as fast as you can, and do that consistently and deal with the issues that come up in a transparent and open way, build strong relationships, and you've got a really strong formula of success. And I think regardless of what you're doing, the category you might be working in, the product you might be selling, or the market you might be operating in, it's not rocket science. It really isn't. But it does come back to leadership, and it does come back to mindset and understanding that the issues we will get dealt are often the same, but the mindset we bring to them, the leadership we show in that moment is what will differentiate us.
Yeah, I like that. Focus on the details, get it right. It's quality, not quantity. If you get that quality right, you deliver the right experience, your customers will like that. They will enjoy that experience. They will come back. They will stay loyal. They will give you a bigger share of their wallet. They'll probably spread that word, and you'll be in a fantastic place.
They'll absolutely spread that word. Yeah, it's how we built our business over the last 20 years. Strong word of mouth referrals. We know we have a job to do in some markets to build a stronger AS Color brand, and we're working hard on that, and we're using technology to do that. But at the core, just provide great experiences for customers, keep servicing their needs, solve problems when they come up, and be good humans. And I think that'll stand us in a good position.
I agree with that. So as you sort of look to the future, what's next for AS Color? What's that next growth lever that you're looking to pull as you continue to turbocharge that revenue growth?
I mean, we have an ambition to be the global leader in premium blank apparel. That's our big ambition. That's what we'd like to achieve. We want to consistently provide canvases for self-expression. So those are our core North Stars in terms of what we're trying to achieve. And then we're very, very focused on continuing to grow in our core markets, being Australia and New Zealand. We see the US and Europe as growth opportunities. We might have been there for some time, but we're just scratching the surface. So we've got really big opportunity there to continue to grow. And then Europe for us is really brand new. So we're still embedding ourselves. We're still sort of looking to establish ourselves before we really put our foot down, but it's going well, and we're exceeding our expectations there. We're having a lot of fun while we're doing it. So we just want to continue to focus on the details. We know we have a strong platform, a foundation on which we can keep building. And if we do those things right, then we will continue to be presented with opportunities. So that's our focus for the foreseeable 12 to 18 months. We have a very strong plan. We call it our blueprint. We have a very strong plan, and we've got the team focused on the key areas within that. And that will be our formula for success, I believe.
Yeah. Set that blueprint and follow it. You're obviously continuing to grow internationally. How does e-commerce play in that? I guess it's a key part, and maybe what's also coming next there. Obviously, it sounds like you're making changes a lot.
I mean, it's the part in what we do. Like, we're an e-com business. So without it, and without sustainable, scalable e-com solutions, we're nothing. We're not going to be able to reach our potential. So we're consistently looking at how we can better service B2B customers, whether that be multi-login or cross-merchandising, or providing them product in a way that is just easier for them to digest. And then in the D2C side, it's about how do we help you get to checkout faster, the payment terms we might be offering you, the merchandising solutions that are presented to you at various stages of your journey, the way we talk to you, how often we remind you. I mean, there's some really small levers that can have a significant impact on our business. We're looking to use AI in certain places where it makes sense, but at the core of it is just continue to perfect the platforms that we have.
30 minutes before AI got mentioned, that is probably a bit of a bingo card tick. Maybe just to touch on, what are you exploring there? Because I know everyone's talking about it. People don't really know how to approach it. So how are AS Color thinking about it?
We're trying to approach it simply. So most of our platforms that we use, whether that be HubSpot or whether that be BigCommerce, have AI tools within your platform, and we're looking to adopt them to make it easier for us to get products live, all the way through to making it easier for customers to shop. The way we offer our search solution is got AI at the center of it. The way we use digital marketing platforms has AI built deeply into it. You can either choose to adopt it and use it or not. So we're looking to just use it in the simplest way possible to better solve customer problems. We don't want it to be a distraction. I think there's a lot of businesses that see it as a distraction, and it becomes this red cow that seems to be and taking everyone's thought processes. I just don't think it should be that. So we believe at the core of what we do, we are very clear on knowing our role in this world, and we want to just do that as well as we can. And if AI or tools help us do that better, we will adopt them. And if they don't, we won't.
You're finding the right tools. Don't let the shiny stuff distract. Ultimately, you've got that blueprint. You've got the customer at the core and at the forefront. And if it helps, great. If it doesn't, then you'll step back and say, well, we're not going to use that. It doesn't make sense. And I like that you obviously within your search, you've already got areas where you're utilizing the latest technology.
Yep, we sure do.
Yeah, Clive, this was a fantastic conversation. I really appreciate you kind of taking the time and sharing the AS Color story, how you've approached growth, how you've approached internationalization. I think the audience will take a lot from your story and your learning. So thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. We love what we do, and we look forward to keep working with you. So hopefully people get some nuggets out of this. And if anyone ever wants to reach out directly, like, we're a very open book. We would love to help the industry become better. And like I said earlier, a rising tide lifts all boats. So that's our focus.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Clive.
See you later.